I call the thing a book. Is it a book? Contents: Introduction, an owner's guide, and operator's manual. We were each born a human apparatus, but not given much guidance on how to run it from the inside. That's where we live, you know. This thing that we see, I don't see. I live out of it. I'm out in the here, reading these things. So anyway, the apparatus is not the one. It's not the apparatus is not an apparatus you can look at. It's an apparatus you can only look out of. And that's the ontological difference. There's this spot where I occupy, and then there's all the stuff that occupies the world. And I'm presumably part of that stuff. But I don't experience myself as part of that stuff. I experience myself as myself. Well, what exactly is that? Not what is it as stuff out in the world, because that's what science looks at. And it's not strictly speaking, what I think about, the stories I tell myself, although that both of those things are part of the reality. They are not the reality itself. The reality itself is far plainer. And why am I harping on this? Why is this something that I'm making a big deal out of? Because it is a big deal. I forget that I am this point of sensitivity, this pivot around which the world can display itself in some simple-minded ways. I mean, every I don't know. It's hard to. The fact of our being a node of sensitivity, part of its sensitivity is to go away itself as being a sensitive point. Does that make any sense at all? It makes itself go away for the sake of what stays, what persists, what surrounds us. And at the risk of taking too much credence in this sort of opposite view, rather than looking at me as being this thing that somehow emerges into this bunch of things, the theory of boxes, if you will, which is the way the Western world, or at least the world that I'm a part of, how we understand the underlying process of what it is to be. We don't question it, thankfully. It's not a question for us that wow, I can get up out of bed today, or I can manage to move myself around the house. But the sense of being something that we don't really know what it is, that we haven't really examined, we've taken for granted, we've taken, accepted the that somebody knows what this is all about. Somebody knows how it all works, but we don't know who that is. And we don't really understand what they say if we think we know who they are. Because frankly, we don't get it all. We just don't get it. And that's part of the truth, that we don't get it, that we're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. And we're not going to get it. That's the truth. I wonder if there's a song in there.